Share what you want to work on today.
Okay, so I would like to work on body image. I feel like I have a filter. I feel like I'm wearing glasses and it's a filter, and the way I assess myself and others is through how they look, like whether big or small, or do you look young or old, or do you look healthy or unhealthy. But I feel like there's a picture I'm trying to compare myself to of how everybody should look or be.
What's your picture like?
That's what I'm not sure. It's totally unconscious.
It's unconscious?
Yeah.
How does this affect you in your daily life?
Well, there's a sense that there's judgments. I can hear my judgmental voice going about the way I look, and I should look like this, I should be this. Like I should be thinner, I should be healthier, I should look young. You know, it shows up like that. And other people too.
Okay. When that judgment voice is coming up and saying those things, how do you feel?
That there's something wrong. There's something wrong with me.
Okay. How much of your energy and time would you say spent with this during a daily?
Well, when I just
day?
checked then, 60 just came. Like it could be as much as 60%.
So it takes a lot of your energy.
It takes a lot.
How do you think your life will change if you can tone it down, transform it, let it go?
Well, I think that I'll be a lot more peaceful and accepting of myself. There'll just be more space to do the other things that I'm here to do.
Okay, more space.
Yeah, and also even with the work I do, I want to come from an authentic place and not I can't be doing this from a judgmental place, even though that's not my conscious intention.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about the history of this. What's your background in terms of body image, and how did you grow up with feeling about yourself? And
for as long as I got taken to Weight Watchers at 6 or 7 years old. So I think
why?
Well, I think my mum thought that I was overweight.
Were you overweight at 6?
I have no idea. I don't know. I mean, I'm 6. I don't know what's healthy and what's. So backtrack a little bit. She's been on a permanent diet her whole life and obsessed with it. So I think I learned a lot of it there. But so I feel like I got the message really young. If you want to be loved, I mean, I've done so much work around this. Like if you want to be loved, you have to look a certain way. If you want to be accepted, you have to look a certain way. So I think it started there. But then, I don't know, through my whole life.
Let me just ask you a question. Is your mom still alive?
Yeah.
Is she still dieting?
Oh yeah, she's still like drops 60 pounds and then gains it all back and is miserable about it, and then so it's still doing it. She'll be 60. She's still doing it.
Okay. All right. So, when did you notice that this voice was a problem for you? How old were you?
I mean, I don't know when I noticed it was I noticed it was a problem for me when I was getting feedback from other people and getting called names in school. But I don't know when I started hearing the judgmental voice of my own.
What was the feedback and name calling you were getting in school?
Oh, that fat and basically that was it. That I shouldn't look this way. There's something wrong.
Were you fat?
There was a period where I was definitely overweight, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, there's been a whole history with food and secret eating and dieting. I mean, it's taken up a lot.
Have you ever been anorexic?
No, but I think I've been more bulimic in terms.
bulimic?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So since I've known you, you've lost weight. You've lost about, what, 25, 30 pounds?
Yeah.
Okay, and have you been able to keep it off?
Yeah, it's been a couple of years.
And has that voice shifted at all with the weight loss you've had?
It's a little nicer, but it's still it's a little nicer because now I can look in the mirror and it's got, you're nearly there or you're looking better, but then there's some days it's still just as horrible as it was.
Okay.
But it's definitely judging all the time.
And is this a voice you hear or a thought process you have?
Well, how I know to get it back is if I imagine looking in the mirror, it's got something to say.
Okay, listen to it for a minute.
comes from over here too.
Is it a male or female voice?
I can't tell. It's someone else because it's saying you. You should be. You. It's not saying I. It's saying you. So I know it's not me.
It's not you.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
now
can't tell
here's
if
the
it's...
question we got to figure out. Is this an introject as a part of you that's saying you, or is this an entity?
Oh, okay. How do I determine that?
Maybe we could talk to the voice
Okay.
as a starting point. And so that would be one thing we could do today. And then you'd also mentioned that you wanted to do some EFT. So why don't we do some sleuthing?
Okay. Whatever's going to get to the root of the problem.
Why don't we do some sleuthing and try to figure out some kind of a map of what we're dealing with, and then we'll have a goal to tone it down, to bring some healing in, to transform that voice, to maybe pull the plug on it. I don't know how it's going to be.
That
That
would
pull
be
the plug on it.
Because it's also affecting even my relationship. Like, I think that he should look a certain way too.
Okay, so the judgment isn't just for you.
It doesn't just stop at me.
Okay. Okay. So let's do a little hypnosis to start.
Okay.
And I know you're holding your neurotech, so you'll get your balancing going on.
Okay.
And when we contact that part, we'll try to figure out what it is and who it is, if we can do that.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll get your higher self in charge of it. As we're working, let me know if you have any needs. If something intuitively comes up that's taking you another direction, just let me know.
Okay.
I'm going to follow your process with the goal of supporting you and not being run by this voice so much. Okay. 60% is what we're starting with.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, so let's ask your higher self and all of its wisdom to guide you in this work today, to bring you to the state of consciousness that will be most productive and useful, to bring up whatever needs to come up for healing so that you can be liberated from this inner voice and this judgmental filter that's taking a lot of your energy, and it's taken a lot of your time and energy most of your life. So with that intention, just take a few deep breaths. And as a way to have an inner sanctuary, imagine yourself in a safe place. A place where you're free to be yourself, where you're protected, where you're surrounded by all that you need. An inner sanctuary. And this inner place may be something that's very familiar to you from your daily life, or it could possibly be something you just create in your imagination right now. As you begin to move into this inner space, describe a bit about what it's like. Where are you?
Well, I'm using the bathtub. Floating in bubbles and hot water, that's the place.
Okay. So just be in your comfortable, safe little haven with your bubbles and your water and your peace and quiet. And imagine kind of moving into the water, submerging yourself into the water and kind of floating and feeling the luxuriating warm water, taking all the tension out of your body from your busy day, and your mind beginning to float and relax, and closing your eyes, and being held in a loving, safe, warm way in this bath water. You begin to go even deeper. And you move to the state of consciousness where you have access to this voice that comes from the upper right side that uses the pronoun you when speaking to you. And we call that energy, that voice, forward, acknowledging it, wanting very much to understand it and learn from it more about who and what it is. So I'm going to ask you now to make contact with that voice, the way you were able to a few moments ago by imagining looking into a mirror. That voice that's lightened up lately, it's a little bit nicer, but still there. And is not only judging you, but judges others by some unconscious standard. So let me know when you have a sense of contacting that inner voice.
I think we can contact it if we ask it questions.
Okay.
I get a sense it's there. I don't. It's
All
not
right.
nothing.
All right, so we want to acknowledge you, and whatever you have to communicate today, we're very interested in hearing from you so we can understand you more fully. How old was Paula when you first showed up?
The number 4 is there.
4. Okay. And what was the circumstance of you showing up and being with her? How did you come to be with her?
The first thing that just showed up was this memory I've had that I've worked with a lot. And it's funny. It's a funny one. It was like a day or so before my 5th birthday, and there was my birthday cake. And me and my friend Carolyn picked off all the icing off the entire cake and shoved it in our pockets, and then ran off down the alley and ate it all. Like that was the memory that just came up.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so go back to that memory. It's your 5th birthday, and you're taking off the frosting so you can enjoy it secretively, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's find out how this inner voice is related to that. Let's ask this inner voice to come forward now and